Hi koalas, it's Julia. I'm going to be reading Ghost Town at Sundown. And I'm going to be reading Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is called Slim. Can you remember what happened in Chapter 3 and 4? They met a couple new people and a couple new animals. Let's see if you can remember. We're not horse thieves, said Annie. Well then, what are you doing with my horse here? He said. Some bad guys came through town with his mother, said Annie. They left him behind because he was too slow. Yup, must be the rustlers that stole my last 5 Mustangs, the cowboy said. Who are you? Said Jack. I'm a Mustang herder, the cowboy said. There's the cowboy with his silver horse, the little red horse named Sunset, and Jack and Annie. They rode through town. Then Sunset showed up all alone, said Annie. We're taking him to his mother. Sunset, the cowboy said. Yup, Annie smiled. I named him. The cowboy put away his 6-shooter. Well, you're pretty brave to try and rescue him, Smiley, he said. Thanks, said Annie. Jack cleared his throat. A Mustang needs his family, he said. The bond between a mare and her young is very strong. The cowboy looked at Jack. Whoa, you're pretty smart, you know that, Shorty? Shorty, said Jack. Every cowpoke's got to have a nickname, said the cowboy. What's yours? Said Annie. Slim, said the cowboy. My name is Slim Cooley, and this is Dusty. He patted his horse. That fits, said Annie. Jack agreed. Slim was Slim, and Dusty was Dusty. So tell me, Slim said, how do you two brave, smart young'uns end up in Rattlesnake Flats? Jack caught his breath. He didn't know how to explain it. The stagecoach, said Annie. We begged the driver to let us off, but I think we made a mistake. Slim looked around. I'll say, he said. When the next stage comes through, we're leaving, said Annie. I see, said Slim. Well, I'm going to take my colt now and find those rustlers. You didn't hear where they were headed, did you? Said they were going to camp over the rise, said Jack. Must be over yonder, said Slim. He looked at a low rise in the distance. The sun was a red ball above it. Better get going before dark, he said. Can we go with you, said Annie. No, we have to stay here, Jack said quickly. Now that Slim could help Sunset, Jack wanted to look for the answers of the riddle. Plus, he wanted to take off his boots still. Shorty's right to be scared, Slim said to Annie. This is no job for young'uns. Scared, said Jack. Oh, please, I want to go, said Annie. Slim looked at Jack. And what do you want to do, Shorty? Well, for starters, he wanted Slim to stop calling him Shorty, and he wanted Slim to think he was brave. Sure, I want to go, said Jack. What about your stagecoach? Asked Slim. It's not coming until tomorrow, Annie said quickly. Well? Slim scratched his chin. I reckon I could use some smart, brave help. But you have to do everything I say. We will, said Annie. Can I ride Sunset? I wouldn't say yes to many kids, Smiley, but you seem to have a knack with horses, said Slim. Now hang on tight to his mane, and I'll just pull him along me. Slim slipped the rope off the post, and then he held out his hand to Jack. Put your foot in the stirrup, Shorty, then grab my hand, said Slim. Jack did as Slim said. Slim pulled him onto the front of his saddle. Jack held on to the saddle horn. Sit tight, said Slim. It's not far. Slim snapped his reins, and Dusty took off with Sunset right behind him. Jack bounced up and down. His boots hurt. The sunlight blinded him. Giddy up, said Slim. Giddy up, said Annie. The horses galloped across the prairie, dust flying from their hooves. Achoo! Jack sneezed as he bounced along into the setting sun. There's Slim and Dusty and Jack. He's got his foot. Do you remember what that's called? Begins with an S. Stirrups. Alrighty, the next chapter is called Split the Wind, Chapter 6. The sky was dark by the time they got to the rise. The wind was cool, almost cold. Whoa, said Slim. Dusty slowed to a halt. They camped down here, Slim said in a low voice. in the patch of trees. Jack saw a campfire at the bottom of the slope. He saw the horses gathered in a dark clump. One let out a loud whinny. "Hear that?" said Slim. "The mare. She senses sunset is nearby." The mare whined again. "Sounds like she's tied to a tree," said Slim. "I think the rest of the herd are loose." "What's our plan?" whispered Jack. "Smiley, you stay here and guard Sunset," said Slim. "Right," said Annie. "Shorty, you and I ride down near their camp," said Slim. "You keep Dusty quiet while I cut the mare loose." "How do you keep a horse quiet?" wondered Jack. "Once the mare's loose, she'll break for Sunset," said Slim. "Then you and Sunset take off, Smiley." "Got it," said Annie. "Then we'll split the wind," said Slim. "What's that mean?" wondered Jack. "Till we get to the Blue Canyon," said Slim. "Where's that?" wondered Jack. "All set? Any questions?" asked Slim. "Nope," Annie said cheerfully. "Yup, about 1,000,000, thought Jack. "Okay, partners," said Slim. "See you soon, Smiley. Come on, Shorty." "Have fun," said Annie. "Fun?" thought Jack. "Is she nuts? Our lives are at stake." Slim snapped his reins, and Dusty started down the rise. Their way was lit by a nearly full moon and 1,000,000 stars. "Maybe now I can ask Slim some of the questions," thought Jack. But just then voices came from the wrestlers' camp. They were mean voices, followed by mean laughter. A chill went through Jack. Dusty halted. "This is far enough," whispered Slim. He slipped off to Dusty. "Keep 'em here," Slim whispered to Jack, "and keep 'em quiet." "Wait," whispered Jack. He needed more information, but Slim was gone. Jack gripped his reins and held his breath. He hoped Dusty wouldn't do anything. For a moment, Dusty was still, but then he snorted and began walking. "Oh no," thought Jack. He tried to think of the rules on how to treat a horse. He remembered a soft hand and a firm voice. He patted Rusty softly. "Whoa," he said firmly. To his surprise, Dusty froze and was quiet. Jack remembered another rule, a sunny attitude. He patted Dusty again. "Don't worry," he said. "Everything's going to be just fine." Just then, a loud whinny came from the herd of mustangs. They began moving up to the moonlit slope. "Hey, the horses!" a wrestler shouted. A gun went off, and Jack ducked. "Come on, Shorty," came Slim's voice. Jack looked up. Slim was riding the mare. Jack was shocked. He had thought that Slim was coming back to ride Dusty. Instead, Slim rode right past him. As he got closer to Annie, she took off on Sunset. The mare galloped after Sunset, and the band of mustangs galloped after the mare. Bang, bang! Oh, there's the picture. Jack snapped the reins. "Go, Dusty," he said. Dusty leaped after the mustang, and Jack nearly fell off. He clutched the reins in one hand and the saddle horn in the other. Bang, bang! The wrestlers were on their horses now, and they were getting closer. "Hurry!" Jack cried. Dusty cleared the rise into an awkward leap, and Jack started to slip out of the saddle. He let go of the reins and tried to hold up the saddle horn, but his weight pulled him down. He closed his eyes as he fell to the ground. Bang, bang! "Oh, man," thought Jack. "This is the end." He opened his eyes. Dusty was looking at him. Jack scrambled up and tried to climb back onto the saddle. It was hard without Slim's help. As Jack struggled, he heard shouts from the wrestlers. Their horses gave high-pitched neighs. Jack looked back. A shimmering white figure was moving across the top of the rise. The wrestlers' horses were panicking and backing away. Jack didn't have time to think about what he was seeing. He knew it might be his only chance to escape. Using all his strength, he pulled himself onto the saddle. "Go, Dusty, go!" he shouted. Dusty took off at full gallop over the prairie, and Jack held on for dear life as they split the wind. Alright, that's it for chapter 5 and 6. Chapter 7 is called Ghost Story. Thanks for reading.